Okay, so I'm now after finishing no after DNFing the previous book, which is Without a Clue. I'm now obviously reading Hungerstone, like I said, and I'm quite enjoying it far more than I enjoyed Without a Clue. I'm reading it faster. I don't feel annoyed by the writing, so I'm hoping this is going to be a good book. But I don't know yet. I'm only like 1% into the book, hoping for the best. Monday and it is 11:54 p.m. I didn't record any of my reading sessions because my house had a blackout, so even if I recorded anything, it's just going to be pitch black. But the light's back on and I have a reading update. So I'm currently reading Hungerstone by Kat Dunn and I am 11% into the book. And so far, I am actually quite enjoying it because I was a bit skeptical because on Goodreads, the book was kind of like 3.7 stars out of 5. And I'm like, I don't know. I, I saw the review and I saw the rating and I was a bit skeptical, but reading it myself, I'm really enjoying the style of writing. I'm really intrigued by the plot and I'm really invested in the life and the feelings of our main character. Lenore is married to Henry. Henry is the owner of Ajax something. It has to do something with metals. They've been married for 10 years and it is a love match, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's a love match, but Lenore is feeling a certain way because in the 10 years of their marriage, she never got pregnant. They don't have kids. And for the past 1 year, Henry has not been sleeping with her and has kind of like been avoiding her. And she's currently feeling I wouldn't say I would say it's a bit restless. She feels restless. She feels burdened, and also she feels lonely because Henry literally tells her that he respects and he likes that her emotions are that of a man, in which she doesn't show her emotions. She doesn't freak out. She doesn't get overwhelmed. She doesn't, or at least she doesn't show that she's overwhelmed. And I feel like this guy is such a misogynistic prick because, okay, Lenore's past is the fact that she's an orphan, and the reason why she's an orphan is because she is the sole survivor of her coach that had her parents that was run over and stampeded upon by, I think, cows, horses, bovine, and obviously she is feeling a certain way when she comes into a carriage, when she's in a carriage driven by a horse, because obviously anybody in their right mind would have PTSD, but her husband has no sympathy whatsoever. Her husband is just kind of like, look, get your shit together because I don't give a fuck. So, anyways, they are going from their London home to a new place, a new residence called Nethershaw or something. And on the way there, they stumbled upon an overturned carriage or a pheasant, and the husband goes out and tries to save this lady named Carmilla, and he tells Lenore to stay inside the carriage, like don't come out. But because Henry has been away for so long, Lenore's like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna go out. So she goes out and she sees the overturned pheasant and she's just like the PTSD is coming back and she faints. And when she like comes to and she sees her husband again at their new place, the husband is just like, I didn't know you had it in you to faint. And I'm just like, what? I already hate this guy. Like this guy is not only a misogynistic prick, it's just that he just hates his wife. Really, he hates his wife. The disdain that he feels for her, I can feel through the page. And the fact that she had the audacity to faint in his eyes, she to him, she's a defect creature. Like I'm pretty sure in his mind, he's thinking like, you already can't give me a child, and now you have the audacity to be feminine, to faint, and to show emotions. get the fuck out. I'm pretty sure that is in his mind. And I'm already annoyed. I already dislike this guy, and I thought I couldn't hate him more. But the more that I read, he just adds more and more depths of me. Like, I didn't know my hatred could go any deeper, if you get my meaning. But it did. Anyways. So finally, Lenore meets their guest. Oh, another thing is like the husband, Henry, and their new place says that don't bother with lunch. I'm not coming back home. And Lenore is thinking, okay, you don't want to come back home for lunch, but what about me and the guest? We don't need to eat? And it just makes me think like this self centered son of a bitch. Okay? Moving on. So finally, Lenore meets their guest, and their guest is Carmilla. And obviously, Carmilla's a fucking vampire. I'm pretty sure. Because duh, has all the vibes. Like, Lenore is having dreams about this, weird ass dreams. First dream is that she's being bitten by this woman that she doesn't know, and then obviously she knows now that the woman in her dreams looks exactly like Carmilla, and she's freaked out. And then the second dream was that she had it's a this woman who has cat-like fur and like licking her paws, and there's blood, and I'm like, girl, vampirism, she's giving you signs. And then so Carmilla is in the guest room, and she's just chilling on bed. She's just like saying, Lenore, you worry too much, you're such a worrywart. Relax, okay? Everything is as it is. Because Lenore is asking her like, hey, do you want me to write to anybody important? Do you have family? You do you want to leave this place? And Carmilla is like, no, I'm good. Let me just stay here to repay the gratitude that I feel for you. Lenore is obviously freaked out, and she's just like, yeah. But anyways, aside from that, I also truly feel that Lenore is very intelligent because she is the person that has to handle the house. She has to handle all the social norms, the society etiquette or societal etiquette that her husband probably thinks is below him, but he doesn't have the two brain cells to do it himself. So, whatever, loser. And I just feel bad for Lenore. I really genuinely feel bad for her because like everything she does, like Henry doesn't appreciate because he thinks it's beneath him. Okay, so today is Tuesday and I've continued to read, and I'm currently at location 632, 18% in the book, and I am stressed. I am stressed because here Henry tells Lenore, like, hey, no, he didn't tell Lenore. Henry tells Carmilla, I don't like you here. I want you gone. Can you just stay at a hotel? And Carmilla instead asks Lenore, do you want me gone? And Lenore instinctually says yes. Inside, she says yes, but due to propriety reasons, and she doesn't want to seem unkind, basically, society. She says, no, I want you here. Like, you are my guest. I want you to be healthy. I want you to stay here until you feel better. And I'm just here stressed out because obviously we know that Carmilla is a vampire. We know that Carmilla is feeding off of Lenore, but Lenore doesn't know that. But she also subconsciously wants Carmilla around, which I understand why, because she's a very lonely person. She wants to have somebody to talk to. She wants She just wants somebody, basically, to see her, to validate her feelings, to validate her hard work, to validate her as a person. And Carmilla does that. Sorry, my boss is here. I don't know if you can hear me. So I'm just gonna start whispering. Anyways, like I was saying, Lenore wants somebody to validate her feelings, to look at her, see her as a person. So I understand why Lenore wants Carmilla around, but at the same time, I'm completely stressed the fuck out because I know that Carmilla's a fucking vampire. Lenore, please. And Henry tells her, okay, this is the one thing I'm gonna give Henry. Henry tells her, like, hey, we should be careful. She could be a grifter. But Lenore's like, no, no, no. And I'm like, yes, she's worse than a grifter, girl. So I'm gonna continue reading. I'm so far enjoying it. So I am checking in for my reading, and I am currently location 1281, and it is 37% of the book. And the reason for this is because today is Hari Raya Idul Adha, and obviously it was a very busy day. In the morning, I had my first session of makan makan at my my mom's friend's house, family friend, and then after that, we went to my cousin's house for another session of makan makan. And obviously, we hung out until like at night. And I just recently came back home, showered. So after this, I'm going to go do my laundry. And then we're going to lock in to attempt to finish or at least get halfway through this book. And my thoughts are currently is that I don't know what to feel about Carmilla anymore. Because at first, my thought was that obviously she's a vampire, she's this vixen, a seductress that is seducing Lenore to the dark side. But the more I read about it, the more I feel conflicted because she is seducing Lenore, but she's not exactly forcing Lenore to go to the dark side. She is just slowly leading Lenore to have her own thoughts. She's basically teaching and leading Lenore to become a feminist. Actually, no, just to have her own agency. She's asking Lenore, what do you like? What do you want to do? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Why does it always have to be about your husband? Why does it always have to be about propriety and society standing? And so on and so forth. She's asking Lenore these questions, and Lenore is feeling agitated because she doesn't want to think about it. She just wants to be a robot, basically. She wants to be a robot. She just wants to do what she's tasked to do, and she wants to have those horse blinders on and just finish her mission, and that's it. And these questions make Lenore really sit down and reflect and think about her current situation, which is Henry is not really a husband to her. Henry just treats her as a really, really capable subordinate. And obviously, we are having hints now that Henry is maybe having sexual and maybe emotional, basically a whole blown affair with her friend, Cora, who, in my opinion, she's kind of a bitch. I don't know what to feel about Carmilla. I don't know where she's leading Lenore, you know? But at the same time, if the path that she's leading Lenore on will make Lenore be her own woman, even though it's the vampire lifestyle, is it really that bad? If it makes Lenore happy? Okay, I'm at location 1445, 42% in, and Henry just gave Lenore Whitby Jet set in Sheffield Steel for their 10 years anniversary, and I really hope this shocks Lenore to really cement the fact that he is sleeping with Cora, because she found diamond necklace in his room. She thought it was for her, but obviously now with proof that it was never for her, then you have to question, who was the diamond necklace for? Please, Lenore, wake up. I don't know. We had makan today. We had gawai, pre-gawai lunch that was cooked by my coworkers, and it was so yummy. But I think I am allergic to batai because I was fine. My cough is not as bad, but then after I ate today's lunch, like it is everything that was during lunch is everything that I always eat. Like there was daging masak hitam, there was tempe goreng, there was soup ikan salai with terong asam, and then there was petai masak with anchovies and chili, and it was so good. It was so good. But I think it's the petai that I am allergic to. At least I think so because finally I went to the pharmacist and I bought some meds, and I explained to the pharmacist what was happening with my throat, and then she said, "I think you're allergic to something, so but let me just give you antihistamine." And after I ate the antihistamine, my tonsils wasn't swelling anymore. Like the swelling went down, and now I'm in shock because I'm allergic to patai. Patai is so tasty, bro. But that's not the point. The point is, anyways, the update is that 60% throughout the book, I'm low key annoyed by it because at first I really enjoyed how Carmilla is seducing, or how to say. At first, I was really enjoying how Carmilla is introducing new ways of thinking to Lenore, like seducing her to thinking more independently, to allowing herself some independent thought, allowing herself to feel the things that she feel, to feel angry, to feel lust, and but now I feel annoyed by it because we are 60% throughout the book, and it is taking Lenore so long, so long to just do something about it. Like, I understand this is a very character driven book, but at the same time, I just wish we weren't 60% throughout the book and still nothing really happens. I wish that there was a faster progression in terms of the plot because I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored of it because Lenore takes so long to just do something about it, to open her eyes, genuinely open her eyes and see that she is being used by her husband and she's being lied to and she's allowing it to happen. She's not stupid. But and I finally finished reading Hungerstone by Dunn. I did not enjoy this book. I gave this a 2.5 out of 5. And the reason for that point 0.5 is because I felt like the writing is actually well written. I like the prose. It's just that I didn't like how it was executed, the overall plot. And I didn't like how the ending didn't land. It did not land for me. It didn't resonate for me whatsoever. I felt like it was very nothing burger. Like the book just became towards the end a nothing burger because the first half was very tedious for me to read. The first 25%, not so. But then when I went into 50% of the book, it became so tedious for me to read because it became very repetitive. Like things would happen, Lenore would see it, and she would be in denial or she wasn't ready to accept the truth. She'll run away and repeat and recycle and repeat and repeat and repeat. And it repeated nonstop. And it just went on and on and on. It was only after Carmilla was not in the book anymore, towards the latter half of the book, finally did we see some progression in the plot. We finally see Lenore doing something instead of always worrying like about the house, worrying about Carmilla, worrying about Cora. And I'm just like, God, this book is such a tedious read for me. Maybe it's because I am not a very character driven reader, but regardless, I have read other books that were very character driven and I enjoyed it. It's just this book was just so tedious. I feel like if your book is going to be a very character heavy driven book, your characters need to be charismatic. Your characters need to be interesting. You want the reader to want to know more about the characters. You want the reader to care about the characters, especially if it's a character driven book. But this book, I just felt like, geez, Lenore, either you shut the fuck up or you do something about it. Because all I hear you do is complain, 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 and be in your mind and complain, but you don't want to do anything about it. And then you're always like, oh, I don't want Lenore here. I mean, I don't want Carmilla here, but then I don't want her to go away. What does society think of this? And I'm just like, it's so tedious. And towards the end, finally, after some, this is a bit spoilery, after some revelation, which is she finds out her husband might be having an affair with her friend and also trying to kill her. She finally does something about it, but by then I'm just bored out of my mind because I just want the book to be over with. And then towards the end, really, really towards the end, it turns out her husband might not be having an affair with her friend, so then she killed her friend for no reason. Like, what? What's going on? So I felt like if the book landed the ending and then tightened up a few subplots, I felt like the book would be far more enjoyable. But as I'm reading it, I do not enjoy it at all. So, anyways, those are my thoughts for Hungerstone Cat Dunn. Didn't enjoy it. Felt it was very tedious. Wish it landed the ending. Um, but I do like the author's writing though. I am open to reading more of the author's writing because some of her writings or some sections of the book really did resonate with me. It's just overall it was just tedious for me to read. So, yeah.